senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, I remember from broadcast law, of course, that was like 50 years ago when I was in college, that you have to operate your local TV station in the public interest because it's the government airwaves regulated by the FCC. What do you think?
Well, it wasn't the government that silenced Jimmy Kimmel. If it was, we'd have an entirely different analysis. Now, I haven't seen Jimmy's contract, but if it is a standard contract like the ones we have, it all has a unique phrase in there called pay or play. The term is a little misleading. It basically means they don't have to put you on air, but they have to pay you. So he has agreed when he signed that contract that they can take him off air for any reason, but they still have to pay him. Now, the other issue is, was he punished because of his political opinions, and are those political opinions protected? His show is from New York. New York has a very, very broad liberal workplace protection that protects employees from the wrath of their employer over their opinions, unless those opinions affect the product. If the employee's opinion damages the employer's product, then of course the person can be silenced for that opinion.
I think his show might be in LA, but
well, even if it's LA, the law is the same
right?
in California. Yeah. Correct.
It's the same.
Correct.
It's the same. So this seems familiar to me. It seems similar to those that were fired from their jobs this week or put on leave, those working in the private sector for comments they made online about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Correct.
So they worked for a private company. That company decided, we do not want you representing us anymore. Is this kind of what's happening here? ABC is saying, hey, we don't like what you said. That's not a good representation of us.
Yes and no.
Okay.
A lot of the people we talked about, like the nurse or the doctor who eventually lost his job, it would depend upon what their contract said. Most people in America are at-will employees. They don't have a contract. They can be terminated for any reason that is not against public policy. They can't be terminated because of their race or their gender or their political views unless the expression of those views harms the employer's product. The delivery of health care, the delivery of, in Kimmel's case, entertainment.
And it should be noted, too, that ABC, Disney, they own a dozen or so stations themselves. But most other companies, and two of the largest owners of local TV stations, Nexstar and Sinclair, both said they were going to take Jimmy Kimmel's show off of their air in response. Then ABC kind of quickly followed suit and said, yeah, we're taking him off the air.
Now, there's a lot of money that goes back and forth between ABC and Nexstar over the airing of Jimmy's show. That money is regulated by a contract, and it would depend upon what the contract says. I'm going to guess, from having seen these contracts, but not this very one, that Nexstar had the ability to take the show off air under the contract.
Okay, I want to get into this while we have you here. The Supreme Court ruling that Americans may now be required to show papers without warrants. So critics saying that the ruling really betrays constitutional safeguards, expanding the government power over everyday citizens. What do you make of this?
I'm harshly critical of it. My column in this morning's New York, not New York Times, I should be so fortunate, the Washington Times addresses this. The Fourth Amendment specifically says no seizures of persons, the old phrase for an arrest, without probable cause of crime. The Supreme Court, in an unsigned opinion, one of those shadow docket opinions, yes, no, stop, go, no reason given, said, go ahead and do it until we decide to review the case.
I always thought you had to carry like your driver's license with you, though. If someone asked you for that, you had to be able to prove your identity.
No. But if the three of us got stopped out here by ICE and said, okay, Ms. McBride, are you an American citizen? What are you going to do? You have your passport with you? But this is a country where we have always believed that we wouldn't be stopped for no reason. There would have to be articulable suspicion about each of us in order to stop us. The Supreme Court says, for the time being, no. They can stop you. And if you can't prove you're a citizen on the spot, they can arrest you. That's not America.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes. Okay, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We don't question your citizenship.
Thank you.
All right.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.